We are live.
What to do, everybody? It's May the 28th, 2025, and it's 7:30 Central Time. So that means it's time for the Mikey Justice Hour. Tonight, we're gonna talk about a tragic story of a 9-year-old who got killed in the road rage case. We're gonna see where St. Louis is at now with the tornado situation, and we're gonna answer a question, or at least try to answer it. Why hasn't Donald Trump mentioned St. Louis yet? It's the Mikey Justice Hour. And you know when it starts? It starts now.
Another high school shooting yesterday, this one in Florida.
I'm in 6th grade, and it can be scary
There have been about
sometimes.
380 school shootings.
I appreciate you talking to our community about this.
Now's the time. Get ready for the Peaches Podcast, the Mikey Justice Show. Y'all ready? I'm ready. All right. You don't want music. There was a man that went by Mike. You like night shows, and so many people wouldn't be mad. They had to be good. It was the youth is avoid because they've been misled.
Today I am announcing charges against the shooter's parents.
I had a 6th grader comment. This is what she said.
And I really agree with your point of view.
The Mikey Justice Show starts now.
All right, my brother.
All right. What to do, everybody? The date is May the 28th, 2025.
Yes, sir.
And I'm your boy, Mikey Justice. And as always, I'm joined on my left by my main man, Phil, on the ones and twos. What to do, man?
Ain't nothing. What's up, everybody? How you be?
You know how we do it, man. Like to give love to all my people that's watching, all my faithful followers, and all my first-time people. What to do, everybody? Appreciate the support. As always, man, you know I got to give shout out and give love to my people people over the Classical Junior Academy, them Cougars.
Yes, sir.
My son, the Bulldog, and my people over at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, past and present. What's been going on in your world, my brother?
Man, just this good old tornado. Nothing too much, you know what I'm saying? My middle son graduated.
Take me to the top.
So
that's what it do. So you got 2 out of 3. Got one more to go.
They say 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but I'm looking to get 100. You hear me?
Yes, sir. In today's time, man, and all the bull crap that go on at schools, man.
Yeah,
I really give it up to anybody that make it all the way to walk across that stage to get their paper, man. Because like I said, with all the mess and madness that be going on at school, you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could be that parent that send mine out of here. You hear me?
Right.
Mine might be dumb as that thing because I be trying to homeschool them. And I could only make you as smart as I am.
Shots fired.
So, you know, they be killing me with that, man. These parents, man, you know how we say, boy, they put these kids in some hell of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't graduate nothing but the 8th grade, don't be trying to homeschool a little bit. You hear me? I mean, he don't have to sit there and listen to you yell at him all day, color no workbook just to work at McDonald's. So,
damn.
If you ain't graduated to 8th grade, no, don't homeschool your damn kids. You're too stupid. But anyway, man, what's the first order of business, man? What's been going on around here? Well, before we get to that, man, did you get a chance to check out the playoffs?
I did. I did.
Which I seen who was that, man? It was a blowout. It was horrible. It was Minnesota and OKC. I saw that game. I know they supposed to play tonight.
Yeah, Minnesota blew them out, but
Minnesota blew them out, and then they came back and lost the next game.
Yeah,
I was just blown away, man. They beat them like by 40-some points. I know they was probably up by like 50, 60.
That's a hell of a swing, man.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I was like, maybe I jinxed them, man. Do you be feeling like that? I'd be like, every time I watch a game, bro, the game be terrible. You hear me?
Yeah.
It be like bad luck. When you watch the highlights and stuff on the news, boy, you be like,
man, they was balling.
Like, I missed that game, bro. You know what I'm saying? But when you watch it, it's like it just be horrible, man. Like my people say, boy, you could go to like a Cardinals game, baseball game, and be in the bathroom and hear the announcer. And it just sound great. Like everything is happening. You've been out there seeing boring as hell, but you be hearing all that excitement in the crowd. You be looking around like, what the hell game? This ain't this couldn't be what. And then I had bad luck, man. I went to a couple Cardinals games, and like every time I went to the bathroom, Pujols hit a home run.
Oh wow!
I missed it every time.
See, if you had dropped a few more nuggets, he'd have had 800.
Well, hey, right. So he hit a home run every time I go to the bathroom, huh?
Yeah.
So if my stomach would have blew up a couple more times, my man, he had that record, huh?
Yeah, they just signed him back in St. Louis, man. See, you selfish, bro.
So Indiana up 3-1 and OKC up 3-1.
Yeah.
Is any of them teams coming back?
No.
No, they're not. Only people that ever done that was LeBron James.
And he ain't.
No, he's trash.
He just hanging around.
Yeah, trying to chase Jordan.
Yeah, ain't nobody want to do nothing LeBron done. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just hoping, man, that they stretch it out to like a good 5. If any of them go 7, bro, that'll just be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be elated. I'll be elated for that.
I don't think one of those teams coming back, man. But as a basketball fan, I'll be wanting all of them to go to 7 because I'll be want to watch as many games as possible. And this time of year, the games be good. You know what I'm saying? And that's the bad part about it, man. Like basketball and baseball playoffs, all you know is that it's the beginning to the end.
Right.
It's good, but you be kind of sad because you know it's going to be over.
Coming to an
and
end.
Then, man, I don't know if it just be me. It don't be nothing on TV.
No.
when sports ain't popping, you know what I'm saying? When it first get going, you know, you got everything. You got the basketball, football, baseball just started. You had that one little short period of the year where everything is popping.
Yeah.
Then it just instantly falls off. You hear me?
Yeah, that summertime, man, if it ain't like baseball, if you ain't just like a fan of your team, it's nothing popping.
Yeah. I guess they do that on purpose, huh? Don't put nothing on TV. Take your ass outside.
Right.
Enjoy some real life. Clean up, do something. Find yourself something to do, man. Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't think neither one of them gonna come back, man. You know, your boy SGA got that MVP.
Yeah.
What you think? Was that the right pick? Yeah, it was this year. Yeah. Usually, man, I get tired of that old you know how they do it at politics. Mm-hmm. This person won last year, or he won 5 times, so he can't get it. Yeah, all of that. But I think it was the right pick. Dude played his behind off. You hear me?
Yeah, and still is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I like what he did, man. He had everybody out there with him, you know, because I think he bought them Rolexes or something like that.
Wow. Yeah. Is that right? Balling, huh? Max contract. He knows What about your man Halliburton? Did you see that game he had?
Nah.
Oh my goodness.
Yesterday, he had another one.
He had 32, 12, 15, 0.
No turnovers.
32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, and no turnovers.
Wow.
And you know they showed like the only people I think it was either they had 30 points and no turnovers or triple double in pace of history. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised Reggie Miller wasn't up there. Mark Jackson was up there.
Triple double, no turnovers, or just
triple double in the playoffs or something, a 30-point triple double or something. You heard me, for the Pacers. Mm-hmm. Halliburton done it 3 times. Mark Jackson and a couple of other people. You hear me? Dang. But it wasn't that many. I was like, man, that'd be killing me, man. That's why I'd be like, man, these guys are special, bro. When you've been playing something for years and people still doing stuff and breaking records that never been done.
Right.
That's what I'd be liking to see about that new generation when the draft and stuff come out. I want to see somebody do something or achieve something that hasn't been done.
Right.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it's been about. But anyway, man, let's see what's been going on around here, man. It done got crazy, man. It done got crazy lately. You got a 9-year-old man that they got killed the other day in a road rage case. Did you hear anything about it?
Yeah, I did hear about that, man, and it was just a sad situation, man.
From my understanding, the people was about to exit the highway over Old Birch or something like that, getting off at 70.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, bro, and you know how it go, you only get the half, and I went there, so I really don't know. But from the way they was reporting it, like I guess somebody tried to pass the other person or something. Mm-hmm. Some type of words ended up being exchanged, and the person in the other car started shooting, firing shots. Mm-hmm. A 9-year-old got killed. a 10-year-old got hit and his father got hit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it made me think about the Colin Brown situation.
Right.
With it being a situation on the highway. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's people just thinking that because it's on the highway, man, and it's all of these cars and just moving, that they're not going to get caught. I don't know if
I don't really know
rage.
what they thinking.
I don't know if rage just make you react like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
But we've expressed it several times on this show.
Yeah.
That when you do stuff like that, man, you're not just altering the other person's life, you're altering yours.
Right.
Because if you think that after you do something like that, you could walk around every day and have peace, you can't.
Yeah.
You looking over your shoulder 24/7. You hear me?
Yeah,
and if you get caught,
you,
you're gonna go to jail
Yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
probably the rest of your life. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to. I don't understand, man, what make a person that mad. You hear me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We never look before we leap, man. You know, at the end of the day, somebody passing you, flipping you off, a bad exchange of words or whatever. What is the penalty for it, man?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's worth no little kid dying. You hear me?
No.
And to be honest, do you really think that person that let off those shots were trying to kill a kid? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's about that, you know, that aura that we have here,
Yeah.
persona, whatever they call it,
that
about
bravado.
being tough and
Mm-hmm.
you know, don't back down and all of that, man. That's what really has blew me away the last couple of days because, man, I couldn't even keep up with it. It was like a 13-year-old that got shot at the barbershop over on Florissant. It was somebody that ended up dying because they ran a red light, a stop sign over there on off of Vanderbilt, you know, that old poetry shop that say Sarah and Easton, that looked like an old gas station. Somebody ran into that and had an accident and ended up killing somebody. It's just been a lot of mess going on.
Yeah, it used to be the old fish market over there.
And what really killed me, man, is like with all the stuff that's going on and people steady trying to pick up the pieces and rebuild. I didn't think it was enough time to get on anything foolish.
Yeah.
And I was telling my people, I said, man, it was so crazy, bro. I was like, the actual days when it wasn't no power and people were just coming outside, talking, being neighbors, living regular life, I felt safer than any time than I have in a long time.
Wow.
And you couldn't even see, bro. It made me feel like the bus when I was like, man, they try to act like it was a bad idea, but when they start wrapping the bus and covering up the windows and all of that, man, it dropped a lot of the crime and the violence. I don't care what they say. I would love to see those numbers. You hear me? Because remember back in the day, people was quick to shoot at the bus, throw a brick at the bus. You know, you know what I say.
Feel like you caught somebody slipping. You seen who they was, and now you.
Oh, you sitting there waiting on them. You heard me?
Yeah.
You waiting on that 41 lead to come on through. But that's what I'm saying. When you couldn't see in the bus and you don't know if they could be your grandmama sitting in the seat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You weren't so quick to just run up and do stupid stuff. You hear me? And that's how I felt about it. It was like when it was dark the other day, man, and people had to you know, act like real people and deal with real life, man. It was just a whole different demo, man. I would walk outside. I would sleep out there some nights, man. You know, and it's like ever since the power came on and stuff kind of started going back to how it was, it's the same old mess.
Yeah.
And you would think that through all of this, man, and seeing people showing all that love coming together, remember, I was like, it's a good look for the city.
Right.
I think about it every day, man. I say, man, that's going to make my stomach turn when it started going back to that. And I asked you, I was like, when do you think that it's going to go back? Because it's starting to fade out already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I was telling you, I said, wait till that weather and it start getting a little bit of cold. Little bit of things throw people off around here. You know, like I said, when we passing out free turkeys and getting free food and all that, we can stand in line all day.
Right.
You hear me? But when we ain't getting nothing out of it and it's nothing to benefit us, you know what I'm saying? And it is opportunities out here. I hate it. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's some people out here just passing out something because they getting paid to do it. It's just some people that's the popular thing to do right now. So we'll hop on the bandwagon and we'll do the same thing that everybody else doing.
I don't want to get left behind.
No.
Yeah.
But you know, all of it ain't genuine. A lot of it is, but it's a lot of opportunities out here, you know. And I hate it, man. But I was just hoping that we would take the time, realize the message that is being put in front of us, man, what the Most High is trying to say. Like I said, we don't have to be the STD capital. We don't have to be the murder capital, man. Right. I've seen people come together and actually act like real people. You hear me? Man, I seen a story on Nightly News and they was talking about all American rejects. when they stopped going to these big events. They said they just been showing up at people different towns and houses and just throwing house parties and backyard concerts. A lot of them have been shut down. You hear me?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that. That's another thing that I say people don't do no more. You know how we like kids don't jump rope, they don't ride bikes, they don't play like social media
games.
Social media has really, really killed regular life. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one of the things that I could say that I saw starting to actually come back a little bit, you know, with everything that's going on, man. And I was just like, man, I hope we just keep that going and just don't go back to that, because we can do it.
Yeah,
we can do it. You know what I'm saying? I'd be so surprised, you know, like I was saying about the pandemic and everything, man. Like, it's just been crazy how quick people fall in line. Like, it'd be something that could alter your life, you know. And we've been living a whole different way. We ain't showed none of this love. Everybody want to charge for everything. Everybody trying to come up off of somebody. And soon as something like that happen, boy, we fall in line so quick. You hear me? There's plenty of food to go around.
Right.
Any other day, there ain't no food. There ain't no resources. Now, where all of these resources, man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That same love, that same money, that same whatever the same way you came up on all of this stuff this time, it need to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It need to, you know, but yeah, man, it's just been a whole lot of mess going on, man, and I just feel real bad about it because I'm like, man, it just ain't what it do. We won't break that mold. We want to be so typical, man. I don't know if we do good, it make us look vulnerable. It make us look weak. We ain't like everybody else. I don't know why we choose to always go that other way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but you know, we were speaking on that situation, man, with the kid getting shot in the road rage and all of that, man.
Yeah.
What really rubbed me wrong about that situation, man, is the mother. She had to report that her son got killed on her 29th birthday.
Wow.
So she was like, birthdays will never be the same for me. You hear me?
No,
she
not
said,
at all.
you know, instead of, you know, celebrating how many years she's been on this earth, she said every year it just to remind her about, you know, this is the day that my son died. So yeah, bittersweet, man, over something that's just ridiculous and stupid like that. You know, everybody going through something right now, so we can't band together, be strong, and stick together through this. When can we?
Right.
That's what bothered me about it, man. It's like,
that just,
you know, if you live anywhere close to her, man, if you weren't directly affected by it, you know somebody that was affected by it. So, you know, I just be trying to get my grown on, man, and I just cannot fathom the whole thing about. I just don't even. I'm like, when do you have time to get off into so much foolishness, man?
Right.
You know, I'm steady trying to pick up pieces, rebuild, help everybody that I can. I'm still calling people, checking on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is somebody, so everybody's word being checked on. People checking on me. People been showing love, coming down the street, passing out food. You know, personal hygiene. You know, supplies and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just too much love for me right now to even wrap my mind around something foolish like that, man. I just hate it, man. And then, like I said, it make me feel like it was a couple of years ago when we were just flooded with violence among children. You know what I'm saying? And they supposed to have been doing something about it, but now it's kicking back off and looking like the same demo all over again.
Yeah, we got to do better, man.
I seen Elliot Davis, man. He had posted on his page, should the tornado relief come out of the Rams fund and all of that. And a couple of people shared it and sent it to me, so I was like, okay, I'll speak on it and we'll talk about it, man. My first answer to that was no. What do you think about that? Should the Rams money be used for the relief?
I say use it for something. Part of the reason I was kind of disappointed with the Jones administration was that they didn't use the money for anything. Like, we got it. Why we holding on to it?
Well, you know what I've expressed in the past, man. I've been around and I've seen politics being played a whole lot of times. You hear me? And you know me, I was like, usually when they take long like that, man, it's because they trying to find some way to do something underhanded or cover something up. You hear me?
Yeah.
You know, like we say, what's the whole purpose of $150,000 fence on a park that doesn't have anybody in it?
Right.
But we know how that go when you play politics. If I scratch your back, you scratch mine, I do a favor for you.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff. But my answer to the question, should those funds be used for that? I would say no, because honestly, like you said, other than them just not making a decision on what they want to do with the funds, those funds really supposed to have been already pretty much used to redevelop the north side, do this and do that, all these wonderful things. You hear me?
Right.
And they have disaster relief that's supposed to be there for these times of need when people need them. So I was like, nah, you wouldn't be talking about using that money if it was already spent and gone. So I was like, why try to use it now? Use it for what it was for, and let the president, who we gonna speak on in a little bit, the governor, and all these other people who have the responsibility of correcting some of these situations, let them do it. Deploy the National Guard. Declare the disaster area, and that, what they call it, relief and all of that stuff, man. Release all of that stuff. But I don't think that the rounds money should be used for that, because being honest, that money's supposed to already be spent.
And as you bring that up, man, I thought about it. With these disasters and stuff like that, it's a easy way to kind of massage the money and launder it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think back to the Oklahoma City bombing. They had all of these fundraisers and stuff and stuff for people who were supposed to be affected by the the bombing, and it's still money in them funds.
Yeah,
because they won't give it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then you got people that sit back and try to, they be like, well, the good part about it is that it's still accumulating interest and all this.
Yeah,
and
BS. Somebody that need it can't get it, and they having a hard time. Why the money is accumulating interest?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's just like we were talking about people. If you ain't got the best health and all that, man, what is you waiting to 65, 67,
right,
70 to get your Social Security? If you don't make it to see any of them days, what difference do it make?
Yeah, what I'm saying? No difference at all.
They holding on to money. Yeah, people in crisis and they going through stuff, man. I don't know what it is. Like I say, it looked like always some type of underhanded way to try to do something else with that money. Slip some over here, maybe slide some over there.
Yeah.
And then the thing about it now with a whole new administration, who's to say that what Tashara Jones planned on doing with the money and Kara Spencer is the same thing? They might have two totally different agendas as far as what they want to do with the money. I'm like you. I'm just ready to see them do something with it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather them not just wait a long time and just end up coming out saying the funds got misappropriated.
Right. We don't know what happened.
Sure you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, just sad with all these crime and stuff like that going on, man. And before we transition, I just hope that these youngsters, man, just think before you start doing all of the old hip stuff. You hear me?
Yeah.
And like I said, part of it is the times that they living in, the parents not doing their job, social media and all this. I be like, man, it's hard to convince. And when I say youngsters, I ain't even talking about 13, 14, 15, because I'm talking about mentality of the people that I be around now, man. You got people that's out here 30, 40 still paying SAG and thug and throwing it up. So I ain't got nothing to do with your age. It's strictly about your mentality.
Right.
If you ain't ready, you just ain't ready. But just hopefully, man, people out here that's doing all this old stupid stuff, just think. But like I said, when you already been pretty much what they call it, you've been doomed. You got that black cloud on you, man. You ain't gonna be nothing. You little nappy head,
institutionalized,
little nappy head boy from the ghetto. You ain't gonna be nothing. You see the commercial. Your future ain't nothing but McDonald's. You might end up being the shift leader or something. Make 50 cent more than minimum wage. But it's hard to convince people that you tell that you ain't got no purpose, you ain't got no life to be upstanding citizens. These youngsters like, man, I'll take me out, take you out, take your mama out. If life ain't nothing anyway, and I ain't gonna never be nothing, then what's the purpose?
Right.
So you really can't blame them. But anyway, man, it been 2 weeks since the old tornado. Well, officially like 12 days, basically like 2 weeks, man. The good thing about it, as far as I know, most people are back on deck with their power. Didn't really affect me because, like I said, man, I had that truck, man. But it was amazing to see how quickly stuff can change people's life, boy. Because I mean, we take everything for granted. We don't think about how this stuff come about. All we know is when we plug it up, it's supposed to work.
Right.
You hear me? Yeah. Charge your phone and all that stuff, man. But when away, boy. It really threw some people off.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and we did some video shooting of the city, man. Everybody been doing their own little work and showing their little side of it and all that. But you got a lot of these people, like even my mom, man, people that's a little bit older. Until I took her out and we went shopping and stuff the other day, they really don't have a real understanding of the type of damage this did. And then it was so fast, man.
Yeah.
Unless you see it with your own eyes, it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah. It's like almost look like a war zone, man. Yeah. And we in the Fountain Park neighborhood. Yeah. I was coming from work, man, when this thing happened, and like on that day that it happened, we had to ride through that neighborhood, man, and like all the lights out and trees all over the street, man.
And oh man, the traffic was so backed up.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was coming over to your job, to pick you up and everything, and I was like, man, I left out a good like 30-40 minutes ago, and I'm still, you seen it when you got out of there, man. They had it so bad. You made you like going in a circle. You heard me?
Right.
You wasn't going nowhere. I was like, man, that was one of the parts that really bothered me. I thought they did a good job, man, because we know, like people say, this never happened here, so you can't expect people to be 100% prepared. But I thought with it never really happening, being such a life altering event, I think they did a good job of trying to really hold it together, man, not make people panic, do what they can to pass stuff out, help people. Like I said, some of it was 100% genuine, some of it was a little fake, but for the most part, man, with none of us live, because we hear the stories about the 1959 tornado.
Right.
I seen a story earlier. It was like the last really, really major one that hit here. They said the Great Tornado of St. Louis of 1896.
Oh wow.
Bro. They said in this one, over 250 some people had died. So
the one in 1896.
Yeah. So when we think about 5-6 people dying with all the damage that we saw, it's hard to say that that's a blessing because family member did lose their life, man. But for all the destruction, man, I can honestly say, man, we were very lucky and blessed.
Yeah, I would say so. Because like you say, man, over here, this is one of the neighborhoods that was hit the hardest, and it nothing but power, you know what I'm saying, outage.
Yeah, you had a few businesses that were down. Being honest, man, in the area that we showed, in the hardest hit areas, had a lot of buildings that should have been torn down anyway. Old out-of-dated business and all that, you hear me?
Yeah.
I hate that I seen stuff like Granny's wash tub and stuff like that from the historical point.
Right.
Had to come down, man, but it was time for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, either tear it down or renovate it or do something.
It been a lot of people that been needing help with repairs, roofs, tarps, and all that stuff, man. I hate that this is the way that it had to come about, but the good thing about it is a lot of these people are finally in a position to get a lot of the help that they needed.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
That's a whole nother story, man, but that's crazy the way that, redlining and, selective lending and all of that does things to this, neighborhoods like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't get the funds that you need to keep your house up. You can't get the insurance that you need to keep your house up after a tragedy like this, or maybe not as devastating as a tornado, but like just a regular storm. Maybe blow your gutters off or something like that.
Hail damage and all that stuff. That's all the stuff that you pay for. And then when these type of situations come about, you can't even really use that stuff.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I think it's just a slick way of padding your pocket and all that.
Definitely.
But I'm with you, man. Some of these funds and resources and stuff should be a little bit more accessible. I've heard the story since the beginning of time that it is accessible, but you got to do your reading and do your research. They say the easiest way to get something around people is put it in the book.
Yeah.
And put that book in front of their face.
I say stop trying to get around them then. You know what I'm saying? Like what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get around people, or are you trying to help
people? Yeah. Well, we know what their mouth gonna say.
Right.
It's a whole bunch of people that are in positions right now and fool people into getting that vote, because let them tell it they were all about the people and they were really going to help people. You hear me?
Yeah.
So you can make your mouth say anything. There's a whole lot of people around here that claimed they was going to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So yeah, man. But this is like footage of some of the hardest hit areas, like the Greaterville area. They said O'Fallon Park area was hit pretty hard, Forest Park and other stuff like that, man. But
man, it cleared a whole like grove in O'Fallon Park, like over the hill, overlooking the highway.
Right.
It's just a flat hill now. It used to be trees and stuff up there.
Man,
yeah, man.
The governor said they assessed it at $1.6 billion worth of damage. Now, my question, man, how the hell did they figure that out? All these houses and buildings and all that. I'm like, is that just they're saying like what they do, go on Google Maps and looked at all the property that was down, and then they assessed it from how much that property was worth? Because I was like, once you put all those workers that's coming from out of town, the overtime and all that over there, it got to be way more than that.
Yeah, I would say 1.6 billion is slight work, and because one or two houses in the city of St. Louis with that brick structure, to rebuild those, you talking about $400,000-$500,000 off the top.
Exactly. And per house.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You're going to get to some millions and billions real
quick. Yeah.
That the one that was in 1896, man, I forgot what they said was the actual number, but they said if that was in today's time, they said that tornado did $700 billion worth of damage.
Yeah.
And like I said, over 250 some people died. So that was
crazy.
Way more devastating than this. You hear me? Even when I see it on TV, man, and in movies, they usually average tornado probably lasts like 30 minutes. So I was like, just for 5 or 10 minutes, man. And like I said, even with the level of destruction that we saw, man, I once again can honestly say that I feel like people were blessed.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot worse. I don't know. I was going to put it up there, man. Some of those organizations that were providing the home repair, the help for people with the tarps and the roofs and all of that,
Yeah.
And I was going to try to put up the GoFundMe because my roof was damaged. A guy came by early and he asked, did we need a tarp and everything? I was like, no, we need a roof.
Right.
I'm like, hey, they say closed mouths don't get fed, man. If all these resources out here, I'm like, it's the time to try to ask for it. You hear me?
Yeah, exactly.
So I was going to put that up, and I don't really know and have that information available right now, but we do know that the 1-800 Red Cross is always available.
Right.
And if you need any type of help, start by reaching out to them, and they probably direct you to anybody else you need to, so you can get that help that you need.
Right.
I wanted to go through and put up every organization that I knew showed love, man, but I couldn't. Right. And there were so many different ones. You know what I'm saying? So I was hoping that anybody that want to call in or put it in the comments, show love to your people. Anybody that went above and beyond to help you out, show love, help you get through these tough times. Give them some shine. Shout them out. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it. I was like, you're going to have some haters and people that's going to say, well, that's all about the pat on the back and that's the only way they did it. I was like, I don't give a at this point. You hear me? Because, man, I'm like, if every time I turn on my phone, go to social media, I got to hear something about who to go between MJ and LeBron.
Right.
See some hoochie mama shaking her behind half naked. Somebody showing every piece of food that they ate. Man, we could show love and get this type of stuff right here some shine.
Right.
Anybody like, I remember the people who personally helped me, and I can't get through all of. Like I said, there was people that came through that passing out fried chicken, barbecue. You had people that was passing out whole pizza. You had people passing out Chinese food. You had people giving towels, giving toilet paper, giving just anything they could. You hear me?
Right.
And I hope that we able to give these people some shine, man, and just just let them know how much you appreciate them doing what they do.
Yeah. I'm gonna shout out Monty Streeter L, man. That brother always been hard at work, man. And STL Street.
Now, who is that?
He's a guy.
Oh, you say the Streets for Peace?
Yeah.
The one guy that helped us out with our daughter when she was missing, Static Butler. He did a lot of stuff with the safe streets and all that kind of stuff, man. That's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of people out here, man. I used to be like, man, we know it take a village, but who want to be a part of the village? And when I see people stepping up, you know what I'm saying? Like my main man, Sequoia Edwards, he had to pop up a little giveaway and everything. Out on Florissant the other day, I seen his little story on the news, man, and they were talking about, just the love he was showing. And his house was one of the ones that was hit hard and damaged, but people putting all of that to the side to try to help other people,
Right. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. My main man, Dirk Brown.
Yeah.
He came through. My mom had just burnt out all her candles and all that other stuff, man. And he came through and gave her a whole case of like flashlights and stuff. You hear me?
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool, man, because for a long time, I really didn't feel the brother. And for the longest, I wanted to speak on it, man, because, if you down for the cause, be down for the cause. I can't do the Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And I remember like a couple of years ago when my daughter was missing, that was one of the people that they told her mother to reach out to. Everybody that we talked to, call Dirk Brown. Dirk Brown. We know what he do with Vibe News and his little thing. He's pretty much try to be the voice of the ear to the streets, to what's going on in St. Louis. So when we contacted him, I was like, yeah, man, I see you doing your thing out here. You got like 100-some-thousand followers. He made a point to check me and correct me very fast. No, 250. So I was like, okay, well, we can make something shake, Dude was a radio personality. A lot of people know him from around here. You hear me?
Right.
But what really hit me, man, because I had even a deeper history with this brother. 20 years ago, me and this dude used to work at Papa John's together.
Right.
I'm like started from the bottom, man. I remember when you was a little low. So, we got to keep it moving, keep it pushing. We can't get brand new.
Right.
I remember when you was selling $2 bootleg CDs. I remember buying pliers from you. Shout out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so when the situation came about when my daughter was missing and we reached out to him or whatever, I'm like, okay, I've been hearing about you. You're a radio personality. You got a good little buzz going around here or whatever. Okay, let's get it cracking. You hear me? But when we go to meet with him and we do the interview and everything, he got this guy Cam from VOP, from Vibe News. I'm like, okay, that's cool. He told me he worked with these guys. It's the same. They basically the voice of the streets, Channel 4, Channel 5, all the local news people here buy their videos from us. We them guys. So we rolled with that, man. Then days and days went by and I never seen the post or the video that my lady made about her daughter on his page. And I'm sitting there like, what's the whole purpose of bragging about you having 250 followers if you're not going to use them in this situation? That's the kind of stuff that I thought social media was made for.
Right.
What better opportunity, you hear me?
Yeah.
To try to get your message across and try to reach some people, but he never
platform.
he never did it. So I didn't know if he was working with them, they were paying him or whatever, man. But it's like, dude, it made me think he was kind of Hollywood. And then when I started calling him, like one day, the very first time I called him, he didn't really recognize my number. So he answered and I'm like, yeah, man, I want to get at you about this, that, we had a little conversation. Then after that, he stopped returning my calls.
Wow.
Saw my man out in the streets a few times when he started doing security, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is my man, Dirk Brown. So, try to holler at him. A few times he act like he really didn't know who I was. I'm like, from the interview about my daughter with the VOP, us working at Papa John's and everything else, me just seeing you out in these streets. Because, like I said, I don't have the following that he had, but some of us been out here doing that work.
Yeah.
And you know what I say? If we all in it to win it, we eventually gonna cross paths. So I done ran into this dude several times, you hear me?
Yeah.
And tried to express myself. But when I seen him get out the car and have my mom the flashlights and everything, I made a point to get out of my food truck because I was chilling back, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't no power, so that's where I was camped out. So when I saw him, I hopped out the truck and I'm like, oh man, right on. I appreciate that. That's different than that everybody just throwing your name around there because you popular and people know you.
Yeah.
That's like they say now, that's boots on the ground. You were actually out here doing it. And I saw you. You heard me?
Right. Yeah.
And you came down in the hood. You walked up the steps and handed it to my people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I looked at him in a whole different light. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. More than just saying who you are and all that. Getting out here and touching people's lives, reaching people and doing that work, man. You hear me? And I wish that we would stop because you working with me, us supporting each other is not going to take away any of your 250,000
Right.
followers.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll be like, man, why we can't come together, work together a little bit more. You hear me? It's strength in numbers, man. And we'll never be at a level the playing field because those people who have control, they stick together.
Yeah.
They have each other's back, but we too scared that if we roll or support another person, they might get a bigger slice of that pie than me. You hear me? So we start hating. You know, a lot of people don't like to hear that word, but it wasn't just invented yesterday, and it didn't just come out of nowhere.
Right.
People made that word for a reason. They trying to describe what they see you doing. You ain't supporting other people, and it's all about you. You are hating. You know,
Right.
So it is what it is. But yeah, man. I'm glad to see people like Sequoia and Dirk and other people around here, man, Urban League and all these foundations really try to get out here and help people. But we need to find a way to work together so it can happen more often.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've been running these stars and stuff on my page, man, for what it been like a month now. I haven't got anybody to send me one. I want to see who really down with me, man. Like I told him, I think it started at 10 stars, and it's like sending the person $1 or something like that. I was like, am I worth $1 to anybody?
Right.
Am I worth 50 cents? Then I told my mans, I say, I know if I ain't, I know damn well one of my hamburgers or whatever is worth it. So I was like, man, the first person that followed me, that send me some stars, come on down. Saturday, I give you a free meal. Anybody that's watching, I need somebody to break that mold, break that ice. Whether it be my man Don Bo, whether it be Casmo, whether it be Jay Wise, anybody that support me, break that ice. I said, I'm gonna show myself some love, bro. You know how we say you can't even get nobody else to believe it if you don't believe it. You hear me? Yeah. So I'm gonna put $20 in my own. Donate to myself. I know I'm at least worth that to me. You hear me? Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I tell people. You can't get nobody else to sprinkle it all on you if you don't sprinkle it on yourself.
For sure.
So in my word, I'm the king, and I'm gonna treat myself like I am, man. But I'm hoping somebody, because you know the whole idea came about with the chef and all that, with the 300,000 followers. I say if every one of his supporters gave him $1, he had $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
I said if they only gave him 50 cents, he'd have 150,000. You hear me? Right. And I ain't even got that many, so like, I got 6,000 or 7,000. If each of y'all gave me $1, $7,000. Yeah, probably something on something. Yeah. Might get the food truck or something running. You hear me?
Yeah.
Might be the start to getting that roof put on my mom's house that she been needing and all that. But I'm gonna ask y'all for it because we need it and we got to band together. And I know that I'm worth 50 cents. But like I said, anybody that send me stars that's in the St. Louis area and you follow me, let me know. And we'll text back and forth. We'll send messages. You could come down on one of the days my truck open, get a free meal. You heard me?
Yeah.
That's like getting 10 or 15 free dollars for $1. So it is what it is. I had some people, man, that made some interesting points around here lately, man.
Yeah, man.
They were saying that your boy Trump has not said anything about the tornado in St. Louis. I mean, not even mentioned it or none of that.
Yeah, he been radio silent, man. Yeah.
Yes. And then you got some people that's like, you know, this ain't New York, this ain't California.
Right.
St. Louis too small for Trump to mention something. You know, it's about that other color.
Yeah.
that paper, you know.
Uh-huh.
He works on a class system. He's about that dollar, and if you ain't holding enough weight out here, then he don't really.
Yeah, we ain't no battleground. I think we went 90% for Republican or something like that.
So he don't do you if you don't, you know. You ain't rolling with him.
Nah,
you got enough bread in your pocket.
Why would they say something about St. Louis? St. Louis is a Democrat city. I don't care.
And then I saw you put a post up online, and you had a lot of comments. I loved it because it opened the whole discussion. You heard me?
Yeah, man.
And you had one guy who a lot of people was throwing shots out at, Mr. Sean Rambo, guy that I've been knowing for a little while, who said that basically it's the governor's responsibility, like you know, hold that down, y'all. Get off the president, it ain't his job. I'm like, well, you know me, man. They say I'm an idiot savant. I guess I look too far into stuff all the time. I said I was listening to what my man said. I remember the post saying that he hasn't said anything about what's going on here. I hadn't even got to the point whether or not it was his responsibility to do something about it.
Right.
But like I was telling old boy, because I commented back to him, I was like, well, I don't necessarily know if it's his job to do anything about what's going on. Yeah. But I do remember anytime it was any tragedy on a national scale, the president always saying something. My heart goes out to the people of St. Louis and the people of Kentucky, St. Louis dealing with the tornado right now. Yeah. We just want them to know.
When Edwardsville got hit,
support. The Amazon place and all that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you say something, you know, my heart go out to the people. We're sending help. FEMA be there,
Right.
declaring it a national disaster. We got funds and money. You say something to comfort the people. You hear me? You act like, and then what I'm saying is you already wear the jacket of being like an airhead in the clouds and not really knowing what's going on. So wouldn't that be the best time to show people that, I'm trying to be a president for everybody. I have a grasp on what's going on. I'm informed by my administration. Right. I'm not just a deer in the headlights. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Relief is coming. I'm doing my job. Hey, it's going to be all right. Just say something, man. You hear me?
Say something.
That's what I've known. I remember when Sandy Hook happened, I remember seeing Obama shed tears over the stuff. Joe Biden and different presidents mention stuff. It's happened since the beginning of time. You hear me?
Right.
But this guy, Sean Rambo, made a point to say that it wasn't the governor's job, man. I don't know. You could try to answer that question, man, from both parts. And the first part is were you even speaking on him not doing nothing, or were you really more making the point that he just hasn't said anything? That was my point. Like I said, I haven't even got to who responsibility was. I was just surprised that with it being such a big story. You hear me?
That was
because
big.
the Midwest at the time, a lot of people had were victims of bad weather. So he had to know what was going on, and he has not said anything about it.
Yeah, that was my point. Like when the mudslides and stuff happened in California, the wildfires, he had a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't nothing helpful, it was just something to say. But it's like he ain't said nothing. Like we don't even register. Like, who cares what's going on in Missouri? Missouri, why would they care about Missouri? It's only 11 to 12 votes. They always.
It's only St. Louis. I mean, what they have sexy red and dark fried rice. Who cares about St. Louis?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
But luckily here at the Mikey Justice Show, man, we just ain't, we ain't as small change Charlie as y'all think that we are. You know what I'm saying? Word. So I took my little bit of power, resources, or whatever you want to call it, and I tried to contact the president. I said, man, you have one of your biggest supporters on deck supporting you, man, but you got the rest of this city and state saying that you're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Mr. Rambo made the point to say that it was not your responsibility to make a statement. But just knowing that he had your back like that made you want to make a statement. So I hope Mr. Sean Rambo is watching tonight. The president finally has released a statement. I don't really know in regards to what it is, if it refers to the tornado, but he did call and release a statement. Phil, do you have that ready for them?
Let's see how.
We have tremendous African-American support. Great guy.
Sean Rambo.
You
Look
give
at
me
my
names a second.
African-American over here. Look at him.
I believe it was playing. I couldn't hear it in my headphones. Well, just in case, we'll just run it again.
Oh yeah, we'll run it again and make sure that
great guy.
People won't be saying that the president didn't have anything to say. I mean, that's the receipt right there. He definitely made a statement. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have tremendous African American.
I guess we'll just have to go back and
we'll
see if the audio came through.
African American over here. Look at him.
But if it didn't, who cares? You know what I'm saying? We know for a fact that our great president, Massa, no, that ain't Massa, is it? What would that be? Make St. Louis great again.
I think that is Massa.
But all jokes aside, man, this it's the 5. I don't know what exact date it was, but I know it's been 5 years almost to the date of the George Floyd killing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say, man. My first question is, have we made any progress since that time? As far as, what I'm talking about, police brutality, just the whole, just since that time, has any faith in the police department been restored by the people?
I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say no too, man. You know, when all that stuff was going on with Kaepernick kneeling down and protesting and all that, man, you had so many people against him. He basically lost his whole career. You hear me?
Yeah.
I hate that. It's like
We're calling it how it is.
When you're online and you be like, man, you know, these comments couldn't be all that serious over basketball. It got to be a little bit of personal hate or some type of racism in there. You hear me? Oh, and the people that said all the stuff that sent you the nooses and all the monkeys, they start coming down on you. Like, oh, there you go, want to pull out the race card and all that. Man, why they act like this stuff when you bring it up like it don't exist? Like you just like, I want to explain about something.
Backlash.
I mean, they act like it ain't real, man. It's real. You turn on the news every day and you see it. Police brutality, the relationship between the police and the people has been damaged, and it needs to be repaired.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen some stuff online. This guy was talking about the relationship between blacks and police. It was never 100 to begin with. So to get that repaired, I mean, you pretty much got to tear the whole thing down, like your whole concept of policing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to that point, man, I think it started with getting more police that's from the neighborhood. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you've been expressing that for the longest, man. You know, and I kind of try to hear you when you say that, because you know you were an officer for several years, so you say that's where it starts. You know, just getting out here and just learning your people and your community, you know? And just establishing a whole relationship with, before all of that. You know what I'm saying? Show people that you understand that they're people. That way, they can show you that they understand that you're people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because regardless to that uniform, that badge, that gun, that's still Michael Jones or somebody's father, brother, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think it'll help them out in the long run, and I think it'll help the people out. And I think they really need to do something. You know, that's what I was looking for more when they switched from Jones to Kara Spencer and all that, man. I wanted to see not all the cute stuff and the trigger words that was going to make people jump on the bandwagon. I want to see the real stuff, man. Like if they know that the violence among the kids and the guns and all that, the laws are a little bit out of date and really not working. I want to see something done about that type of stuff. You hear me?
Right.
They know how bad the opioid and the fentanyl and all of that done got around her, man. I want to hear people address that type of stuff. You hear me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We seen a lot of finger pointing as far as who was supposed to be to blame, as far as how the homeless encampment and everything worked, but you never really seen nobody address what they were going to do to fix those type of problems.
Right.
So that's what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't drive enough. I really didn't care all that much about potholes. You know what I'm saying? If baking too high, you don't supposed to be eating the bush anyway, so get you something. You know, it wasn't all that to me. I thought it was way more important stuff to focus and spend our time on.
Right.
Man, I was gonna, just to break the ice a little bit, man. I got to thinking about that old, because we've been all into this old George Floyd stuff. You know, we did all of those people who passed in that How Do We Make America Great Again, from the Breonna Taylor to Tyree Nichols, Justine Damon. You know what I'm saying? So it got me thinking about my homegirl. You know, I did a tribute to her at the end of that video, old Nikki D.
Right.
Man, I remember one day she said she sat there and watched me name, and I used to do it all the time. I'd be like, man, what out here has the most names of anything? You hear me? And I was telling her, I said, man, money and marijuana had more different names than anything in the world. Right. And I just sat there and just ran them all off, man. And I ain't got it like that no more, because I'm a little old. But she was blown away. She was like, boy, I mean, no pen, no paper, no nothing. She was like, you were just running them off. So I told my mans, I said, I'm going to see if somebody else could think of something. And that was the first two things I thought of, marijuana and money. But maybe y'all could think of something that got more names. What is all the different names that they call stuff? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we got to running it down. And I thought about a few of them after we had put it together, but your boy Phil say, man, don't take all of them, man. Yeah. Leave some of them for the people. So how you want to play that, man? You want to see if somebody...
Yeah, if you could get any ones that we miss, go ahead, drop it in the comments, man. and put us up on game. Some of you youngsters got,
I got
new
all
names.
that.
So.
And I thought about that. I said, I know one that we didn't put up that pressure. Everybody got that pressure. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just trying to just have some fun, man, to get people to participate. And once again, if you're in the St. Louis area and you drop a couple of them on us, man, let me know. Come see me when I'm open. Hook you up with a free meal or something.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, what you want to start with the marijuana?
Marijuana.
Okay. And I know that I missed some, man, but these were all the different words that I remember from my heyday or childhood that people like to use when they refer to marijuana. Does that count as one of them?
That's one of them.
Okay. Then we started out, we said ganja.
Yeah.
Dank. Ism.
Okay.
Bud.
Yep.
Chronic.
Yep.
Smoke. Grass. Pot. Reefer. Green. Broccoli. Dro. Gas. Loud. Trees. Just the regular old name, just regular weed, regular bud. Spinach. Sticky icky. Fruit. Some of them good old herbs. Cannabis.
All right.
Fire.
Yeah.
Cabbage.
Yep.
Lettuce.
Okay.
What I have after that? Let me see. I forgot something.
Endo. Kush. What about the backyard boogie?
Backyard boogie.
All right. Then we got Kush.
And oregano.
Oregano.
All right. Let me see. Anybody got any that I missed? Like I said, I know that pressure is one of them that people like to pass on and spread on around here.
Yeah. Drop it in the comments if you got any we missed.
Now, you want to see my as many ways that I thought that we can name money.
Yes, sir.
And the way that I did it, man, I was like, it can't be no bull crap and no made up. I'm talking about if you use these words, people would actually know what the hell you're talking about. You hear me? So if you ask me, did I want to go to the movies with you today? And I would tell you that, unfortunately, my brother, I won't be able to attend the movie because I don't have any. And what we say, this is money, right?
Yeah.
So does money get counted too as one?
I guess.
All right. Well, I won't be able to go to the show with you, my brother, because I don't have any cheese.
Yeah.
I don't have any cash.
All right.
I don't have any paper.
Yeah.
I don't have any guap. I don't have any fatty. I don't have any ducats. I don't have any ends. I ain't got no bread. I ain't got no cheddar. I ain't got no mozzarella. I ain't got no moolah. I ain't got no scratch. I ain't got no squirrel. I ain't got no dead presidents. I ain't got no payola. I ain't got 20 bones.
Lord.
I ain't got no cuts. I ain't got no bucks. I ain't got no dinero. I ain't got no peso. And we already said cheese, so you know it's queso. I ain't got no queso. You hear me? I ain't got no wetbacks. I ain't got no big faces. I ain't got no currency. I ain't got no Benjamins. I ain't got no racks. I ain't got no stacks. I ain't got no dollars. And if I left out any, y'all let me know. But that was a pretty good run. It could list.
I think so. Put your thinking caps on.
And all you need is one or two.
Yeah.
You can come down and holler at me. I think that's worth a cheeseburger. You won't have to have any cash, ducat, scratch, or moolah to get your free cheeseburger. No purchase necessary. Before we get out of here, man, you know your boy Lester Holt, man. He stepping down from that position at Nightly News. Been there since June of 2015 when he replaced Brian Williams, who got basically suspended, then kind of removed after fabricating that story about being in the helicopters or something when they got shot down and in the military. You know, he told some kind of amazing story. You hear me? And
amazing story.
he was really highly respected and credited reporter. So I was like, man, I didn't know who they were going to get to replace him. You know what I'm saying? And them picking Lester Holt, who was just the host of the Weekend nightly news got the position. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And like you expressed, man, you say we basically got to watch him get old on TV.
Right.
You hear me? I mean,
Watch
dude
that
is a hell of a guy,
hairline
man. I'd be like, I used to love seeing like those stories he would do like off the air that you go online and watch, man, because I knew it was a lot of good man and real dude in him. You hear me?
Yeah.
But I also respected how professional of a journalist he was.
Right.
Because, man, I used to tell my people, I was like, man, ain't no way that I could sit there and report some of that stuff and have the straightest face. Being a man, being a father and all that, a lot of that stuff would have bothered me a whole different way. You hear me?
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm pretty sure it did, but just the level of professionalism that he showed during those times, outstanding, man. You know, a lot of people say that he was America's most trusted reporter.
Yeah.
I mean, he always looked genuine, looked like the real deal. And a lot of people, they say that he just stepping down and going to Dateline because it'll give him a little bit more time with his family and able to do some of the things that he want to do with his life. And I agree with some of that, man. But I also read that he used to label himself as a Republican. And the way, you know, basically they saying that you better not say nothing wrong these days as far as media, or you'll instantly get shut down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think the type of man that he is, instead of playing politics and having to choose up and really, you know, get in trouble for giving his honest opinion, man, I think he felt like the best thing for him to do was remove himself from that part of the reporting.
Right.
And that's why he continued to do Dateline and all that, because I think if he was done, he'd just be done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, man. I think Friday or Monday is supposed to be his last day, and then the one guy, Tom, I forgot his name, the guy that kind of looked like Jimmy Fallon, he's supposed to be taking over. I think he's going to do pretty good, man.
Yeah,
you know,
hopefully.
But you know how they go, man. I just got a big spot in my heart for Lester Holt, you know, especially you don't get to see too many people that look like us that get those type of positions.
Right.
So, you know, shout out to Mr. Lester Holt. And that's been our time, man. Oh, and one more thing, man. You know, I always like to check and see who birthday on days that we have shows and all that, because it always just make for an interesting topic. You hear me?
Yeah.
It'd be so crazy, man, because like when we look up people, you'd be surprised, man. You just bring up somebody and be like, man, I want to see what's up with his career or his background. And it'd actually be that person's birthday that day.
Right.
You know, like stuff like that. Just weird, man. So when I looked it up today, man, it didn't show a lot of people that really touched me as far as who had a birthday today, but one did stand out. Miss Gladys Knight turned 81 years old.
Well,
today.
how about that? Midnight Train to Georgia.
One of my favorite artists, man. So happy birthday to Mrs. Gladys Knight. Anything you want to say, man, before we get out this earth?
Just congratulations to my boy Joe.
Yeah, one more time, man.
Yeah,
That
man.
is a big step, man. Like I said, man. That is the first step to getting your grown on, transitioning to your adult life, and securing your future, man. So shout out to any of these kids who over the last few days or in the coming days gonna get to walk that stage and get that other paper.
Right.
Well, I appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate you, my brother, for always rocking with me and that
Yes, sir.
support, man. Can't do it without you. And that's been our time. I'm Mikey Justice. That's my boy Phil, and we'll see y'all in 7. We out.
Peace.
Peace.